What's up, everyone? Welcome to another edition of Tarun's Thoughts. My name's Tarun Shetty. These are my thoughts. It's Thursday, guys. This week. I don't know why I mention the days. Like I've said, every day is exactly the same for me. It doesn't make a difference what day it is. I'm just enjoying my third espresso of the day. I swear to God, this is my third espresso. So I'm just going to be jacked up all night, baby. Hope you guys are having a good day. I'm so busy. I don't think people realize, I don't know why I'm trying to justify to you guys that I'm busy, because I feel like maybe you guys think I'm just some dude who sits on his lanai all day and drinks espressos, which is not far from the truth, and going to like these shitty mics. By the way, I literally just got an email from the booker of Side Splitters, which is like the best club in Tampa, and they were like, hey, can you come do a guest spot on Sunday? It only took me a year and a half to get a normal spot at this club, and I'm about to leave Florida in like 2 weeks, and I just got into the club, so who cares? I don't even care. I'm just gonna go down and do it. But hey, anyways, hope you guys are doing fine. It's been a eventful day. Do you guys read the news? I try, for a second, I was trying to sell out and be like, I'm going to talk about news stories every day because I'll beat the algorithm. And I'm like, I don't really give a shit about the news. I'm not Bill Maher. I don't care so much, but I will comment on things if they're relevant to me. Like I had this TikTok page. I'm not really trying to do TikTok, but I was like, oh, everyone's on TikTok. I got to try to be on TikTok. And I realized every time I talked about like something current, it'd get like crazy number of views. And I talked about like Will Smith getting slapped at the Oscars, and I got like 5,000 views in like a day or something. And people were commenting. And like all of a sudden, I'm like the news guy. Like I don't give a shit about Will Smith or Chris Rock for that matter. I don't even know these guys. So I don't know. I was reading about Will Smith giving the apology. I guess he made some apology video he shot. And I was like, should I make a video about this? And I was like, do I really care? That's the thing about showbiz. These guys are at the top of their game. Like, even if Will Smith doesn't work for the next, ever, for the rest of his life, he'll be okay. Same with Chris Rock. Like, these guys are immensely talented. Not saying anything about that, but they're going to be fine. They're going to be just fine. In fact, I think the news depresses me. It really does. Like when I go into Google News, I usually go on Google News in the morning because it aggregates all the top news stories, and I'm like, this is the most depressing things I'm reading. Like, this is not what I want to read. Like, before I jumped on this, like that Sandy Hook's Alex Jones guy was like sentenced to pay $4 million, and he's running around saying some school shooting didn't happen. This is the world we live in. We're just constantly consuming negativity. Is there any wonder why we're all messed up? Like, every day we're just regurgitating this nonsense into our brains. It's ridiculous. It really is ridiculous. And I guess I'm just adding more fuel to the fire by my neurosis, but it is what it is. But I went to that open mic yesterday in St. Petersburg. I go to this mic once a week to try out jokes, and it was the most depressing thing. I usually post a clip or two, even at the open mics, because I do okay, dude. There were two people in the audience when I went up. It reminded me of I was doing development spots at the Comedy Store back in the day. Development spots are not paid regular spots. It's in between. And that asshole booker never passed me, so he'd give me development spots. And sometimes he'd put me up at 2 o'clock in the morning when there was nobody there, right? And I was like, am I talking to myself? It really is I'm talking to myself. Who gives a shit? Quick story. Bernie Mac, right? Bernie Mac, who is on the Kings of Comedy, huge African-American comedian who just considered one of the best. I heard a story that he went to LA to make it, They put him on so late at the Comedy Store, he got off and told his wife, we're going back to Chicago. fuck LA. And he started the show in some hotel and became the biggest thing ever. And that's how he became Bernie Mac. Like, he made Hollywood come to him. I mean, I'm not making Hollywood come to Florida by all means, but I think about that sometimes whenever I do these rooms. I'm like, this is just inane how stupid this is. But the reason why I'm telling this story is I'm sitting outside, right? I'm sitting outside, just not fuming, because I meditate in the van, and I'm just at Zen, whatever that means. And I'm sitting outside on this bench, and this young comic comes up to me, and he goes, "Are you Bobby Khan?" And I literally look like this, like I'm in shade, I'm wearing my glasses. I'm like, "What?" I thought I misheard him, and he goes, "Are you Bobby Khan?" And I was like, yeah, I do this character. And he's like, "Yeah, I saw your movie." First of all, the fact that he recognized me as Bobby Khan is totally insane. I was like, "What are you talking about?" And I guess he saw the movie. And I guess I asked him some questions, and he was like, he saw me do stand-up like a couple years ago, whatever, like headline as Bobby Khan or some show, and then he went home and Googled the movie. Anyways, so he was asking me these questions, and it was really cool for me not to be recognized, because I started asking him questions, and I was like, "So what do you think?" And he was like, "Oh yeah, man." He goes, "It was really funny. Like, I really enjoyed it." And it was just a surreal moment. Like, I've had moments in my life where people come up to me, and again, I'm not famous at all. I'm not famous, right? But I've had moments where people come up to me, like airports and stuff, like, like when I was doing like Desi OC, and they're like, "Hey, are you Tarun Shetty?" Da da da. And it always catches me off guard. And I always feel like I'm a dick to people because I can't believe it myself. I'm like, yeah, like, who gives a shit? But it's just a weird moment to have with people when they just like watch your stuff and then they recognize you in some, random place. Because, Tampa's a small town, LA's a small town, even New York is a small town to some extent. When I was living there, like, you see the same people in the same pockets wherever you live. So anyways, I was kind of just thrown off, and I was like, "Hey, you want to watch my set in front of like 2 people?" And, that was that. But I came home and I just started writing. Like, it really made me think about like the effect our creative work has on people. I forget about that. And I've talked about that. Like, creative work can really have a profound effect. Like, if you write a book, like that shit, like I talk about books all the time, right? Like, it has a impact on my life right now, and I'm sure it has impacts on other people too. Like, I was listening to Chuck Palahniuk talk about, like, he goes to these book signings, and he'll say people like won't use the bathroom. Like, they'll wait in line to get a book signed, and they'll like carry a bottle, like, to pee in the bottle because they don't want to lose their place in line. Like, that's how crazy people are. I was reading about that cult that it's called Nexium, that got Keith Raniere. He started some cult, and I think people are sheep. Sorry, but I think most people are just they're so miserable in their own lives, they want to follow anything. And I think that's how cults get started. And I was telling her, I was like, you know what? I bet I know enough about spirituality. And the girl I was talking to, like, she knows a bit about spirituality too. And I was like, I bet between the 2 of us, we could start this really awesome cult. And she was like, yeah, we could. And I'm serious. I bet I could start the best cult in the world. Like repackage Eckhart Tolle, Wayne Dyer, throw in a touch of Ram Dass, and there you go. You have a whole new movement. Maybe that's my calling. I don't know. I actually thought about going to a Scientology meeting when I was in LA, when I first went to LA. Not because I wanted to join Scientology, but I was like, what is this about? Like, how come everyone hates these people? And they hired me to do some commercial for Scientology. Like, I was on their website. Like the commercial was, everybody was like really angry. I was like a stockbroker, and it was like yelling, "Oh, fuck this, da 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 da." And there's one stockbroker who's a Scientologist, and he's like really peaceful, like making phone calls, dialing the numbers. So I met a bunch of Scientologists, and they were super nice to me. Like, everything, that's said about them, I don't know, but when I went to the shoot, they were really nice. And I was like, I've got to just go to a demo class to see like what this is all about. And I was thinking, oh, that's how people get roped in They go to that first class and then another thing. Next thing you know, you're luring others to go, or you're captain of the Scientology movement and you're giving your life savings to some foundation. I think that's what it is with life. People are just looking for satisfaction so they can, make it through another day and not put a bullet in their head. I mean, sorry to sound so down, but I feel like, life is crushing and you look for any solace you can. Mine is this espresso that I just made with my colored straw. I'm thinking now I have to do stand-up tomorrow to prepare for Sunday. Do you see how this web unravels? Like, you have all these shows and then you have to get ready and then one show leads to the next. It's just like this never-ending thing. That's why Seinfeld's insane. Because he's been doing this for so long, it just makes you, obsessed. It makes you obsessed. I hope you guys are having a great week. I really do mean that. Thanks for watching. Take care.